U.S. President Joe Biden, meantime, is wrapping up his visit to Poland ahead of the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Biden took part in a summit this morning with the leaders of NATO's eastern flank members, also known as the Bucharest Nine. The group was formed in response to the annexation of Crimea in 2014. Biden is seeking to reassure allies his administration is aware of the threats posed by Russia. The countries that make up the Bucharest Nine have grown more worried Vladimir Putin could take military action against them if he is successful in Ukraine.
Today, as we approach the one-year anniversary of Russia's further invasion, it's even more important that we continue to stand together. And I think this is proof of this, how strongly we feel. That's why I wanted to meet all of you in person here today. As NATO's eastern flank, you're on the front lines of our collective defense, and you know better than anyone what's at stake in this conflict, not just for Ukraine, but for the freedom of democracies throughout Europe and around the world.
NCTV's Vanessa Lee is in southwest Poland in the city of Katowice. Vanessa, Biden holding a final meeting with NATO allies before departing the region, this time sitting down with leaders from NATO's eastern flank. What has come from those talks?
Well, really, Jennifer, it was another strong show of daring for Ukraine. We heard from all leaders of the Bucharest Nine, as well as President Biden, and they really reaffirmed their support for Ukraine. And they are also discussing what steps they can do next to help the country. President Biden also spoke about the strength of NATO. He says that the U.S. will defend every inch of NATO. And really, he spoke again about, something that he's been saying over the past couple of days is what's at stake here is not just Ukraine's independence, but its freedom and democracy as a whole. We also heard from NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, who really, once again, just thanked President Biden for his visit to Kyiv. He says that really signals the U.S.'s ironclad commitment to Ukraine. And there still is a lot of buzz about that top secret visit that he made in Kyiv over a 5-hour period on Monday, that, he took a 10-hour train ride from Poland, that it was such a risky venture. It was the first time in modern history that a U.S. president had visited an active war zone without a large military presence. But again, it really was symbolic. It really signals that the U.S. is going to stand by Ukraine. And he also spoke about Putin. It doesn't look like he is going to back down. And so that's why he's saying that NATO and its allies must continue to step up, must continue to bolster their support for Ukraine, Jennifer.
And Poland, has been really the main way in and out of Ukraine for military aid as well as international support. What is the country looking for from allies as we get set to enter year 2 of this war now?
Well, Poland certainly has been a strong supporter of its neighbor, Ukraine. I mean, we've seen that with how many Ukrainian refugees have decided to call Poland home, more than 1.5 million compared to a year ago. And so the country has spent billions on allowing them free education, allowing them to find work, and allowing them to access social assistance, in addition to military aid. We did get a chance to speak to Poland's Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister, who says that it is considering sending its old fighter jets in collaboration with its NATO allies, just like they did with tanks. And so there is still talk of more military aid. And really, Poland says that it must do everything it can to support Ukraine because they worry they could be next.
Absolutely. As the neighbor and as the home to many Ukrainian refugees. Now, very quickly, Vanessa, what is the mood like in Poland as we approach the one-year anniversary of the war? How have the people there been impacted?
Well, you can really feel a sense of solidarity here, that people in Poland welcome Ukrainians with open arms a year ago, and that feeling still stands. We were just at a school here in Katowice, and we spoke to 12-year-olds, well, one 12-year-old who says that he wants to stay. He says that even when the war is over, when he is able to return home, he wants to make this his home, and it really speaks to how welcome he and his family feel here. He says that he's been able to make friends, and he spoke about the language barrier. Language language barrier has perhaps been the biggest barrier for many people here, particularly children, because the two languages, Polish and Ukrainian, are very similar. I'm told that about 60% of words are the same, but the alphabet is completely different. So when it comes to writing and assignments and academic stuff, it's a lot more difficult for children. But they say that the ones we've spoken to say that they feel very welcome here, and yeah, that speaks to the warmth and the comfort that people here are trying to provide.
Yeah, new beginning for so many people, yet the end of this war so far in sight. CTV's Vanessa Lee live for us in Katowice, Poland. Thank you.